Have we got a name for this yet?
No, we don't.
No. Hello?
Hello. Welcome to our best and worst and most surprising movies of 2023. I'm Tom.
I'm Harry.
And I can confirm, although we do sound similar, we are in fact two very different people.
We're not the same person.
We are not the same.
Can confirm that.
We are two different people.
Very, yeah.
But yeah, so don't get confused.
Yeah, basically. So this is going to be the first part of a little podcast that we're going to be doing for the rest of the year. We've got a few little things coming up, which we're excited about. And we can't wait to share them. So we're going to start off with our worst films.
The worst ones, yeah. Get the shit out of the way.
Get the shit out of the way and then get to the bloody good stuff.
Yeah.
We've got some, like last year, there was some good stuff.
There's some good stuff. It was a mixed year of movies, I think.
It was, yeah. But I think there's definitely some crackers in there. There's a few poo-poos in there.
Poo-poos.
But yeah, it was a good year. So should we start with our least favourites?
Yeah, I think so. So I have made a little list.
Okay, cool.
I've
made a little list as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as you're the guest, Harry.
Yeah.
Why don't you go first?
Oh, okay.
And then we can sort of briefly discuss and then go from there.
Are we going to start 5-1?
So to be honest with you, you can.
Sure.
All mine, I don't really like. Same with my favourites. I don't have like a definitive favourite.
Okay.
So they're just kind of, I like them all kind of the same, and I just like them all the same.
Fair. Okay, cool.
So,
okay. Yeah. Number 5, I would say. I just want to make it. Also, want to say, making films isn't easy. So
no, it's not easy.
I do appreciate. There's a lot of hard work that goes into these films. I don't want to criticise them. However, there was some shit last year.
There was some
there was some shit.
There was some real flopbusters.
Real poo-poos.
And I think let's just give a little round of applause to the crew and the people that worked on these films.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for...
I'm sure the catering was good.
I'm sure the catering was good. I'm sure they knew how to bake a potato.
Yeah, I'm sure that was all very nice, but unfortunately the movies
didn't quite hit the nail. Starting from number 5, I'm going to go for The Meg 2. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun film. I really liked the first film. I don't really know if it was necessary.
It really wasn't necessary.
To be honest, it wasn't really necessary.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a fun popcorn film, if you could call it that. But yeah, I think overall it was. I don't really think it. I think it was one of those films that wasn't necessarily going to change the genre as such. I think it just was supposed to be a fun film.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it did hit those beats you kind of expect from a shark attack film. But beyond that, it wasn't really anything. I mean, the cast are good. Was it funny? I can't really remember.
I don't really remember laughing. I mean, as I say, it was fine for what it was. Just wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I really just hope we don't get a third one.
I think they are doing a third one.
Ah, fuck's sake.
I think they are. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm confident from memory that the Meg died at the end of it. It got blown up.
Yeah. I think it did.
So I don't know what the third one is.
And just a little disclaimer, I do actually really enjoy shark movies and stuff.
Yeah,
that's
Jaws is a cracker.
Jaws, Deep
The first
Blue
Meg
Sea.
is good.
I like the first
Jason
one.
Statham in it, but it's still good.
And he's in the second one as well.
He is. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's.
I'm pretty sure the third act of this film was literally just the third act of the first film.
I think it was
somehow just because there was again with like a load of holiday makers and.
What was the dog called? It wasn't Toto, was it?
I don't remember. I don't know.
No. Either way.
But the main thing is the dog survived.
The dog. That's all I really care about. That's all I really care about. The most important thing about the film, the dog was okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, beyond that, I can't. The fact I can't really remember much about it probably means that it wasn't terrible.
That says a lot.
But it also means it wasn't great. So it was definitely a film.
It was a film.
It was a film. Do you want to go for your next one?
Or
do you want me to,
so you do all yours.
Rattle off all mine?
Yeah, you do yours, mate.
Okay.
And then
I see what you do.
Yeah.
Number 4 then.
Yes.
I'm going to say, again, want to make it clear, wasn't a terrible film. Just wasn't really a great film.
Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yep.
Again, it was fun. We might get onto this in a little bit, but Marvel was...
We definitely will.
There was some interesting things for Marvel last year. Don't think it was one of their strongest years, I'm going to be honest. I think there's definitely some good stuff in there, which we might get to. But I think that probably wasn't their strongest, and I think a lot of I think it's quite clear at the moment that quantity over quality seems to be a bit of an issue for them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Disney Plus, they seem to be pumping out quite a lot of shows that some of them are good, some of them are sort of a bit naff.
They just need to go back to giving us like 2 films a year, maybe 3 at most. and then like 2 Disney Plus shows.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Just focus all your attention on each project. You know, and I get like Disney probably hassling them to put out content for Disney Plus or whatever.
Sure.
Kevin Feige, mate, you just need to put your foot down, mate. Say, look, you know, have you seen our box office numbers recently?
Yeah.
So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's not looking good. Yeah,
that's not looking good. Let me do what I want to do.
It is genuinely shocking. After Endgame, everybody said that like the MCU was over and it wasn't going to do great, and I was like, at that point, I thought I've loved everything. From this point onwards, it can only get better. I thought if they've just given us Endgame, which is like one of the most epic films I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I thought it can't get better than this. Somehow, there's been some good ones in there since Endgame, but it's definitely not remained the quality that we once had.
Definitely, yeah. As I say, first of all, we've definitely gone off topic a little bit now, but
we have.
But as I say, that's what we do. That's what we do on this show. We go off on tangents.
This is it. This is it.
You know,
this is what you've got to look forward to.
You're just gonna have to come along for the ride.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, viewers and listeners.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I was watching Endgame last night. First time I've seen it for a couple of years, and it honestly made me quite sad how good the MC used to be. Like I was watching and thinking, "Fuck, this is good," and then.
What happened?
What happened? Yeah, knowing obviously now what comes next. You know, like the little setup where, Thor makes Valkyrie the king. How is she the king?
I don't know.
Of Asgard, and then but obviously he goes off with the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean that should have just been a whole film in itself.
That should have been a film, and then
not like necessarily Guardians 3, or Thor 4. Love and Thunder, but they should have just. They should have just done the Asgardians of the Galaxy, just a little like a side spin-off.
Great title. That'd be a great title for the film.
That would have been so fun. Yeah. Maybe not get Taika Waititi to direct it.
No, maybe find someone else.
Definitely find someone else. But yeah, that would have been cool. And just all the little setups and things that just ultimately just didn't really
go anywhere. They didn't really go anywhere, did they?
But yeah, basically, yeah. Just going back, obviously, Ant-Man 3.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, I enjoy parts of it. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, I do give them credit. He looks crap, but I give them credit for MODOK because they had the balls to do that look. He doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of those comic book looks that no matter how you translate that, it's going to look a bit goofy.
Yeah, but I think, his
portrayal's not great.
There's nothing about MODOK in that film is good. Like, he just looks so bad. He
doesn't look great, does he?
He literally looks like...
He looks like Humpty Dumpty.
He looks like Humpty Dumpty has been stretched.
Yeah. Humpty Dumpty's been stretched in like a gold seat.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know like loads about MODOK.
No.
But just the fact he's like going around, he's like, I'm Darren. Like,
yeah,
I'm not a dick.
Like, that's not cool, is it?
That's actually like a line from the film.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I was like, what?
That's not cool. Yeah, I think... I forgot about that bit. It's not a good film.
What the fuck is this? But
every time I go to think about rewatching it, I think I will give it another go. And now you've just reminded me.
Yeah.
I don't think I will.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon. Anyway.
Yeah, it's... Oh, God. But like I say, I'll just quickly say... Oh, well, it's on my list anyway.
Sure, okay.
So that's,
Alright, cool.
We might as well just get it out of the way now. Because I don't really want to ever talk about it ever again. But I mean, Kang was really lackluster for me.
Okay.
He was just... I've never really... Obviously, all the stuff with Jonathan Majors at the minute.
Sure.
But even before that, I never thought he was like much of a... He's kind of never... I don't necessarily think it was him. I just think the way the character was written, I just think it didn't... I think they were... It's like, oh, he's the big bad. It's okay, well, show us then. And for me, they just never really did anything to kind of prove to me that he was a worthy villain, like the next Thanos or whatever. Like Wasp is like basically not really in this movie at all.
No.
And considering she's like, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp, like
her name's in the title.
Her name's in the title. She may as well not be in it.
Yeah.
Which was a shame. Cause, I like Evangeline Lilly, and I think she's good as Hope and the Wasp and stuff.
Yeah.
And I like their little dynamic together.
Yeah.
Even like Michael Douglas isn't. I don't really remember him having much to do in this film. But one thing that annoys me, kind of in this film, is I know they recast Cassie Lang, but I just found her really like unlikable in this film.
Genuine question: why did they recast her?
I have no idea why they recast her, but the girl or the woman that's playing her now, is it Catherine Newton?
That's it.
That name?
Yeah.
Like I've seen her in a few things, and I just think she's just so like I just don't think she can act.
Can't want for it, yeah.
I saw her she was in like Detective Pikachu as well.
I can't even remember that film.
And she is like I don't know what it is. Like she's just so like emotionless and bland and wooden. And it's like there's a bit in Ant-Man at the end, like Quantumania at the end when he's fighting Kang, and it's the bit when he's going to send them all home, and it's like sorry, spoilers by the way.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, where you think he's going to be stuck there.
Yeah.
Forever.
Sure. Yeah.
And her reaction is, "Dad."
Yeah, and that bit I think that's the scene in the trailer. It's that same bit basically, but yeah, it's really lackluster.
Yeah, it's just so everything, and she always looks like she just looks like she's about to like she's trying not to laugh all the time.
Yeah.
You know, she can never like do anything seriously, and
I don't believe her relationship with him. I think I can't remember her name, is Emma something. The actress that played her in Endgame. Mm-hmm. She's only on screen for like 5 minutes, maybe. There's that brief
not even
bit.
That.
It's probably not even that.
Probably like a minute.
She's in that brief scene, and I think she's at Tony's funeral.
That's
it.
Yeah.
Spoiler again. For Endgame. But there's a brief bit in that brief sequence. I believe more that she's Ant-Man's daughter.
Yeah, definitely.
Than the whole film with Catherine Newton.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think she's at the funeral. I think she's there's a bit at the end where they're like on the porch.
Oh, that's it.
And they're looking at the sky and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, that's way more. There's way more of a relationship
I just believe
there.
It more, yeah.
Totally.
I believe way more that she's.
And she doesn't. I think she's got like one line.
Yeah.
Of dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. And she still makes it more believable.
Yeah.
It's in that bit when he comes back and sees her for the first time.
That's
that whole bit, I think, is done brilliantly. But yeah, I mean, I personally think there are some good things in I was going to say Endgame. It's great. There's loads of great stuff in Quantumania. There are some good things in there that I like. It's interesting what you said about Kang. I quite liked Jonathan Majors as Kang. I thought he was quite cool.
Okay, yeah.
He's probably better in Loki, which season 2, by the way. Get on that.
Yeah, I know.
Really good.
I've been lacking on season 1. I loved, but yeah, no, I need to watch season 2.
Love series 2. I think he was great in Loki, both series. Quantumania, I mean, the suit was perfect. The action stuff at the end was good, but I think overall, yeah, as you said, he's supposed to be the most like powerful new big person.
Yeah, I just didn't believe it.
I
just don't see it.
You never see it.
But anyway, I think that's Well, we shall leave it there.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say there's probably a lot of because that could go on for a while.
I could talk about that movie for forever, how much I dislike it and all the flaws with it, but
yeah.
But we just don't have that much time.
We don't have that much time. So let's go on to number 3.
Number 3.
For me. Okay, this one, I do sort of and ah about some of these, but the more I think about this one, the more I think actually it maybe wasn't that bad. Was Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't think it was a great film, I'll be honest. And I do think it wasn't as good as the first film. I think the first one's better.
Yeah, definitely
personally,
not as good as the first one.
It was a fun popcorn film, but I just don't think it was anything particularly... Again, like, same with some of the other films, like I just don't think it was very memorable. And I just think it maybe wasn't quite the perfect use of what they could have done. The whole Wonder Woman thing, I know she's barely in it, but that kind of pissed me off at the time. I just thought it was a really stupid, lackluster cameo.
I've got to say,
wasn't on set.
What was I honestly, I'd say I am like, I would kind of consider myself more of a DC guy than Marvel. I'd say it's like a kind of 55-45% kind of thing there with Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
So I was, and I really loved the first Shazam film and everything. But yeah, I totally agree. Like, it was, it's fine, but it's kind of forgettable. But I have to say, I genuinely laughed out loud when Wonder Woman came on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I don't know if because, well, I know why. It's because basically there was no. I think it was just us in the cinema at the time.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Like a lot of
opening day, we were the only people in the screen.
Just us in there.
Yeah.
And it was just like. And you could tell, like, when they did that, because they do the thing, and she does that, and she walks sort of round, and she does. It feels like forever, where she's like walking, and she's sort of doing her, she's like smiling at him, and it's like like, the theme's playing.
Yeah.
And you could tell, and obviously everyone, and like the characters all sort of reacting like excited, but it's kind of silence because it's like they were doing that No Way Home thing when like. Andrew and Toby come through and they kind of pause to let people cheer.
Yeah.
It's like they were going for that same sort of thing, but it just didn't happen.
Nothing happened. It's just complete silence.
Just really awkward, like.
Yeah. It was. I think that was, for me, that was a bit of a reflection of the whole film. It's like a lot of it just felt quite awkward. I didn't personally find it very funny. I think the first film is good. I think it again, like this is one of my problems with the film, right? The problem with the first film as well. Nothing against Zachary Levi, but I think he's supposed to be playing a younger version of Billy. But to me, he seems more like he seems like a superhero version of the friend. I can't remember his friend's name. Freddy. He seems like if Freddy had the powers, which he obviously does get them, but it feels to me more natural that he would be the Zachary Levi Shazam.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, I think actually didn't he?
They seem very different. I think he might have.
I think he actually. I think he auditioned for that originally. I think he auditioned for the adult superhero version of Freddy, and then they were like, actually, we quite like you for Shazam.
Yeah.
I do think he's a good, great choice for Shazam.
Yeah, I think he is good.
I just think, and a lot of people said this as well. For him and Asher Angel, who plays Billy.
Yeah.
He's way more mature.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's way more mature as a kid, as like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, however old he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He seems more mature there.
Yeah.
Than Shazam. I know Shazam's supposed to be like a fun hero.
Yeah.
But it's like he somehow gets goofier when he becomes a superhero.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people said that as well, but
just weren't feeling it.
Yeah.
But I mean, beyond that, it was fun. There's some good bits in there.
Yeah.
The fight on the football field at the end I thought was really cool visually.
Yeah. Had a dragon in it.
Had a dragon in it. Always gets a plus for me.
That's always a thumbs up from me.
Love a dragon. But yeah, beyond that, not very memorable. I can't see myself wanting to rewatch it anytime soon. I've only seen it once. I'll probably stay like that for a while.
I think
I can't see myself rewatching it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll rush to rewatch it, but
yeah.
But yeah.
Other than that, it's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
So number 2 for me was actually a film you've not seen.
Oh, okay.
So this will be interesting.
So
I've gone for Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Again, it's funny, like this whole list, like they are my least favourites. They're not all awful films. There are some good in them, but again, for me, just not a memorable film. I can't really remember very much that happened in it, to be honest. I quite like. I think the best bit about the film is it's very focused on him and his family.
Yeah,
that's probably the strongest part of the film. Is the connection between all of them. That kind of feels like a real family. But beyond that, I think the villain's very lackluster. Very, very lackluster. I don't think it's a very well written thing. A lot of it, they've copied elements from the first Iron Man.
Right.
And
I did get that from the trailer. Actually.
Yeah, they copy. I won't say too much, but they basically just rip stuff from the first Iron Man film, and it hasn't been done in a great way for me. I don't know. I don't think it's a film that I can sort of, again, just like very much like Shazam. Like it was fine, but I just can't see myself wanting to rewatch it anytime soon.
Yeah.
Is it a part of the new DC universe? Is it not? They sort of make references to other heroes that are obviously going to be around in this new universe, but I think James Gunn has said it is that they're going to keep the main guy, but it was kind of like they sort of references to DCEU in there, so I don't actually know.
Yeah, it's weird. I know.
Where is it set?
Yeah.
Are we going to see him again? I don't think it did brilliantly at the box office, so that's.
I don't think any DC things did brilliantly at the box office.
I don't think they did last year, did they?
Yeah, I'm honestly annoyed with myself. I didn't get a chance to go and see it. I was just super busy like around the time it came out, so I just didn't get a chance to go and see it. But
again, it's not terrible. I think you might.
Yeah,
it
looks fun.
It's fun.
It does look fun, but I'd say
It's just not anything great.
Cool. Okay, well, watch this space on Blue Beetle for me.
Yeah,
I shall
definitely give it I do recommend at least giving it a go.
Yeah, definitely.
See what you think.
So number one. What is your
for
number
me.
one?
Now this might be controversial
because
I know you might disagree with this. I went for The Flash because I thought it was fucking awful.
You bastard!
I thought it was fucking awful.
It's
Honestly,
not fucking awful.
It is. It's shit.
It's not that bad, Harry.
It is. It's shit. It's really bad. And I have a few reasons why.
Okay, well, Harry, that's what makes the world go round, mate. People have a different opinions. We can still be friends. It's fine.
We can still be friends. We can still be brothers.
Yep.
So I think a lot of this film was, and I do wonder if it maybe might have just been because of how much it had been bigged up by the press, by DC, by James Gunn, I believe even Stephen King was like, this is one of the best, which is like the most random thing ever.
I think he was probably,
I think he probably saw a different film. I don't think he saw
They probably had a gun to his head when he said that.
I don't think he watched The Flash, he watched something else. Basically, they bigged it up so much, and for a long time they were saying, like, this is like, not only the best DC film, but it's one of the best superhero films of all time. And I was like, oh my God, like for a film that's got The Flash in it, Ben Affleck as Batman, Michael Keaton as Batman, you've got Supergirl, you've got General Zod. I thought, that's some great, like that is a recipe for a cracking film. I was like, I'm well up for this. And when I watched it, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. There's a lot of, I don't think. Okay, I'll try and say one positive thing. I do think the best bit about the film is probably the relationship he has with his mum, and that scene.
Yeah.
Again, spoilers for The Flash. The scene he has at the end of the film with his mum in the supermarket, knowing that he has to. Is it like a tin of tomatoes or something, or baked beans or something? Whatever it is, he puts back in the shopping cart. Something like
I can't even remember what it is now. What is it, like tomato sauce? Or something?
Yeah, something like that. Soup, I don't know. It's a tin of something anyway, and he has to put it back in the basket.
Yeah.
Or take it out of the basket, I think it is, knowing that she'll forget it, go back for it and die. Is that right?
Yeah, God, I've seen that movie like 3 times. I forgot what it was. But
I've only seen it once.
Well, I say I mean,
and it's So that's kind of the thing I do really like about it. But beyond that, the things I don't like, Ezra Miller is a big issue for me. I just don't like the betrayal that we get.
I think
that was a weird casting anyway, to be honest. I think there's a lot of people. Lucas Till would be a lot better for the role.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I just don't think he was very great. Somehow they made Michael Keaton's performance not great. Well, I mean, his Batman stuff is cool, but I think what eventually happens to his Batman is very lame. Supergirl was cool, to be fair. Ben Affleck's Batman isn't really in it enough, but I guess it was never really going to be his film anyway. You get a brief scene with him, but to just think that this is kind of the final, but one of the final chapters of the DCEU, I think there's a lot more they could have done with it.
I feel like, I mean, I'll admit, I know that Andy Muschietti's come out and said like, oh, the CGI was supposed to look a bit weird and stuff. The CGI doesn't look great. I'll admit that.
I like that idea, but that also just sounds like an excuse to me.
Yeah. Oh, something fell down there. I'll admit the CGI doesn't look great, but and also I feel like this should have been the last film of the DCU. I think this feels more like a conclusion to everything, rather, even though it's not really a conclusion.
It would have wrapped it up well, I think, to have ended it on because it makes sense. Like that's the universe rebooting itself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it would have made a lot more sense. But yeah, I actually don't think I'm ever going to watch this film again.
That's absolutely fine, mate. That's absolutely fine.
Don't like it.
I'll get into mine.
Yes.
My little list now.
Now we don't know each other's lists, so I'll be very intrigued to see. Are you going to start from 5, or are you going to go?
I'm just going to
You said.
I don't really have I'm just going to just kind of go through them. Really.
Go for it. No, I'm ready.
Some of these, I know you haven't seen.
Okay.
So that's fine. So obviously one of them is going to be Ant-Man 3. For a reason we've already said.
Okay.
Just kind of a pile of shit.
Just quickly, is there anything you do like about it at all?
No. No. I honestly can't think of anything.
Is there nothing?
Was there anything in there that I liked? I mean, Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's great.
Yeah.
And everything. He's always great. And
I do think the ending. Just quickly, I think they set up the ending really, really well as he's walking down the street and he's thinking to himself, "Have I just done the right thing?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I think the universe is in danger." I think it would have been a good point to have ended the film there.
Yeah.
A bit of a cliffhanger of him thinking, "Oh shit, I think I've done something wrong here."
Yeah.
But it ends just with like him eating a bad cake or something.
Yeah,
that's
not
funny.
It's Marvel shit humour.
I mean,
speaking of that, I did like the line where he's in the thing and the guy says, "Thank you, Spider-Man."
Oh yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah.
And he's just like,
yeah.
Yeah. But and if you not that you would obviously be watching this Marvel, but
if you are,
I've heard rumours about Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
And if you're planning on putting Ant-Man in it just because of that line,
maybe don't.
Please do not do that, because that is just ridiculous.
Also, just Marvel, if you are listening to this, Spider-Man 4, Daredevil, Kingpin, Human Torch, Jessica Jones, The Punisher. I'll take it all. Hammerhead.
And also, Marvel, if you are listening to this, what the fuck have you been doing the last few years?
There's been some choices.
Sort it out, mate. Sort it out.
There's been some choices.
Yeah,
there's been some choices.
Okay, so my number 4, sort of least favourite movie, is going to be Evil Dead Rise.
Okay, a film that I have not seen or not heard of.
So it's right. So it's like the next installment in the Evil Dead franchise, obviously.
Okay. Obviously.
Yeah. So basically, these movies. So this is what Sam Raimi did, like back in the.
These
are like his. It's kind of what Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
And they were actually both producers on this new one.
Okay.
So basically, I think the last Evil Dead film was in 2013. It was like a remake of the original film, but honestly, it's generally like so much better than that. It's actually the best. I think it's the best film in the whole franchise. It's brilliant.
Okay.
And it's very rare that a remake is better.
Mm.
But this new, and let's say, so it's been like 10 years since the last one. This new one it was so I was so disappointed with this one. It was just like, you know, there's some cool gore stuff in there, but ultimately it's just kind of gore for the sake of gore. The story's kind of a bit lame. I mean, I like the setting that it was all in like this kind of apartment, you know, like a like complex. I like that, and it was, you know, this kind of claustrophobic feel, and it's basically like this. Again, spoilers for this film, but I know you're never going to watch it,
I'm never
so that's
watch
fine.
It. Well, no, I might do at some point.
I doubt it. Yeah, I very much doubt it.
I probably won't.
But basically, yeah. So so there's like these kids, and then their mum basically gets taken over. And there's there's this book. Well, actually, in the other films. There's this Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
Which they kind of read out spell, and it kind of brings all these like kind of like creatures and you know, things to life.
Yeah.
But in this movie, which I did quite like actually, it's not a book; it's like a record.
Oh.
So they play this record, and it's like all these like, it's like a priest. He's like reciting these verses. Because obviously one of the kids is like a DJ or you know, wannabe DJ or whatever. So that's quite cool. So they play this record, and that's how cool. the Evil Dead, you know, all the like creatures and the undead and everything come about. And they possess the mum. And as I say, there was some cool gore in there, but other than that, it was just kind of forgettable for me.
That, yeah.
Okay. So next up is going to be a movie that we've kind of both seen it. I've watched it. I've reviewed it on my channel.
Okay.
You've watched, I think, most of it. I think you know what's coming with this.
Yeah.
It's Rebel Moon.
God. Yeah.
Again, super disappointed with that film. Yeah. I was generally really hyped for it because I really, obviously, you know, I like Zack Snyder films. And I was super, you know, excited. I was like, yeah, he's doing like a Star Wars type, you know, space epic. I was like, yeah, sounds good. And it really wasn't.
Not at all. No, I'm going to be honest with you. That was actually going to be on my list, and I forgot halfway through recording this what that film was, which I think just says how good that film actually is.
Yeah.
That I genuinely forgot it even existed.
Yeah.
It's awful. I have not finished it, so maybe I just need to get going with that.
I mean, the ending is kind of cool.
Does it end on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, well, to be honest, it sets something up for the next film, which I'll admit is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I was not. It's just weird how, like, I don't know.
It's basically A New Hope, as you said in your review. It's basically A New Hope.
Yeah, there's nothing. If you wanted to see my thoughts on Rebel Moon, just watch my video.
He's basically just stolen stuff from that.
He's just stolen stuff from that, but it's just kind of like, it's just not. It's just, you know, it's bland. It's not done as well, and the characters aren't that interesting really. It's just, yeah, it's kind of.
That's it.
Hopefully, I'm hoping part 2 will be better.
How many more is he making? Do you know? I know
hopefully not many more.
There's another one in Easter.
There's another one in April. It's part 2.
March,
The Scar Giver or something.
Right.
Which sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then so I think there's like an anime, or something. But wasn't it's like with his Army of the Dead?
Oh yeah.
Right things. That was supposed to be a whole franchise. Yeah. Like, am I just? I don't know if I'm just like really out of the loop, but
no, I think there was.
Where the fuck's? Because there was supposed to be like an animated prequel to that and stuff.
There was. I don't even know if that's still coming or what the hell is happening with that.
Yeah, because that was like his whole thing that he was like a whole universe he was going to kick off, and there's been fuck all from that.
So. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, can't remember.
Right, so next up for me is going to be another horror film.
Okay.
The Exorcist Believer.
Oh, another film I have not seen, but I have heard of this one.
You've heard of it? Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's a good start.
I've heard of it.
So yeah, so this is like the new kind of batch of, or it's like a new trilogy of Exorcist films, like sequels and stuff. So yeah, I mean this was, and again, very disappointing. I mean the first half of it, I was really intrigued by it. It was actually really good. It's just the whole second half, you know, like I say, I'm a huge horror fan, but I've never really been a fan of like possession movies. They just kind of get a bit, you know, the kind of, you know, people getting possessed and stuff like this. It's kind of boring to me. Yeah. Like the whole, like, you know, exorcism things. There's so many of those movies out there, and I'd never really watch them because they're always the same.
Yeah.
And this movie just very much feels like they just took a generic exorcism movie and they just added some characters from the original film in there. You know, it's like you know, this could have been anything. You know, just some kind of, you know, kind of lame movie, and they just it's a shame really. It just felt like all the legacy characters, you know, from the original film, like Reagan and whatever.
Yeah.
They were all just kind of shoehorned in and just forced in. Like literally, like spoilers for that. She appears right at the very end because her mum gets stabbed in the eye.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, it's obviously, I guess, you'll be in the next movie, but it's a shame because David Gordon Green who directed this film, he's doing the new trilogy. He did the last 3 Halloween films, which I loved. Halloween 2018, I love that film.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween Kills, yeah, that was kind of dropped the ball for me. That's not so good. But Halloween Ends, and I know I'm in the minority here, and so get your pitchforks ready. But Halloween Ends is generally one of the best movies in the franchise. Like,
really?
Obviously not as good as the original. Like, nothing is ever going to beat that. But for me, that's like the second. You know, I fucking love that film. Like, I would say watch that.
Yeah.
If you know, because
I've not really delved into them. I feel like I'm missing out.
You're definitely missing out.
I've seen a bit of the 2018 one. Wasn't really feeling it, but I know you're a big horror fan. I know you've talked about it quite a fair bit to me to say give these a whirl.
Yeah.
I probably need to.
It's a really
just
good.
to see what they're like.
If
I
you
think
like,
I would like them.
I think you would like them.
Yeah.
And I think if you like revenge films as well.
I do. Yeah.
Like Halloween Ends it's definitely like a revenge film.
Yeah.
So
we'll give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl.
So I think that brings me on to number one.
It does indeed. Now I will be intrigued to hear what this one's going to be because I'm a bit nervous.
So my least favourite film of the year
mm-hmm.
is going to be Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I can already see. I can see the hate.
You bastard!
I think I just broke it
Really?
off. I just like.
Wow.
I'm honestly baffled why they even thought that we'd want to see an 80-year-old Harrison Ford doing stuff. Like, I just think, like, I mean, again, I like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I know a lot of people don't like it. That's fine. Like, you know, that's what movies are there for, to be discussed and stuff.
Sure.
But to me, that just felt like a nice, you know, him getting married and stuff at the end. He's, you know, I just think that just felt like a natural end to his story.
Yeah, I think he's one of those characters that I think the idea of like adventure is something that never leaves him. So even when, you know, at the end of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, when he gets married, you might think he might now settle down. I think he's one of those people that he's just like wanting to scratch the itch of finding something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the idea. Of there being of him just doing it when he's 80.
One last
I love that
adventure.
Well, even like, I almost love the idea of like he never has the idea of one last adventure because he's constantly like once he finishes one adventure, he's on to the next one.
Yeah.
I like the idea that he just like him.
He never sleeps. Like,
he never sleeps. He never rests, and that's exactly how the film ends.
Yeah.
With him getting the hat from the washing line thing, which then indicates that he is going to do more. I really like the idea that he just doesn't stop being Indiana Jones. I really love that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, I get that.
But yeah, that's interesting. So what do you think? So say that they were to make the film with him and an 80-year-old Indiana Jones, was there anything you might have done differently for it, or was it just a story you weren't sort of quite fond of?
I wouldn't have had Phoebe Waller-Bridge in it.
Okay.
I think that's the big issue for me. Like,
okay.
I know like she wrote it or something, but I mean, you know what I think about that, but I just think she was just like the most unlikable like character in it, like, and it's just like, and just like talking down to, you know, I know like obviously he's old and stuff in it, and he can't do things as well as he used to.
Yeah.
But like talking down to him all the time and patronizing, I was like, fuck off, he's Indiana Jones, like.
Yeah, and isn't he supposed to be like her
godfather or something?
So like, why is she talking to him like that?
I know, it's just like, have some fucking respect. But yeah, I don't know, and I think at the time, obviously, I know that's not going to be the case now because this movie flopped horrendously.
Didn't do brilliantly. Yeah. Didn't do brilliantly.
Which wasn't a surprise because I think they had to make like 900 million just to break even or something ridiculous.
Which makes me sad because Disney, I don't think at the moment they were going to do a TV spin-off of the show in some way, not necessarily with him. I think it was going
to be with her, and she was because I think at the time there was an idea that she was going to take over.
Right.
Like, oh my god, I'm so fucking glad that never happened.
I'm glad that didn't happen. I think when the film first starts, you're not supposed to like her. I think she's deliberately supposed to be quite unlikable. As the film goes on, I do like her. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
I do think also because she like saves him at the end. She stops him from staying way back into his sort of era.
I wish he'd stayed there.
Do you think so? I think it would have been quite fitting for him, maybe.
No, I wish.
You wish she's
she could just fucking stay there.
She could have stayed there, couldn't she? Yeah. That would have been quite funny actually.
If he just put right, see you later.
Yeah, just say it and just leave. But I do think actually staying with that, I think that's actually one of the many things I like about the film is that whole bit with him going back.
That was cool.
To see Archimedes,
and he actually got to meet.
I love the idea that someone that's been basically since he was a kid, being like this huge adventurer, like loving history and actually going to actually experience it. I think it's like I'm a really big fan of like Egyptians and pirates. If I got to go back to that era, probably wouldn't be great for diseases, and I'd probably get killed. But it would be cool to. It'd be cool very briefly to like just see it in person, to kind of see like real pirate ships and pyramids of that era and stuff. It would be cool to see it. So I love that whole element.
Well, I mean, any time travel stuff is always good with me. So that was cool to have finally a little bit of a time travel.
I was going to say, how do you feel about that element, given that it's quite mythological in those films? Are you okay with that? Because a lot of people have sort of said you shouldn't have it, but then all the films have that.
Yeah,
there's the Ark, there's the Holy Grail. There's always a bit of a kind of a mystical, fantastical element to them as well. Yeah,
like they're kind of grounded adventure films, but there's always
a fantasy element.
Yeah, which I like, and so
that's fair.
That's how I felt. I just I wanted it to be really good. I really did.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't going to go and watch it.
Yeah.
But I gave it a chance, and I just
you weren't feeling it.
It was unfortunately it was a case where the trailers. Sometimes you watch the trailer comes out. And you go and watch the film, and you realise the film's completely different to how the trailer's made it out, to be, and you think, oh, that's actually, whatever, surprising. But this movie was just like, exactly what the trailers look like the film's going to be is what the film is. It's just,
not great.
Just him getting dragged around, and just kind of patronised, and just having the, just being talked down to the whole time, and it's just, and it's just unfortunate, really.
Yeah, that's understandable. I, as a fan of it, would say that it wasn't quite the film I went in expecting. When I came out of it, I loved it. Ooh, might be a spoiler for one of my top 5 films of the year. But I
gathered it. Well, how many times did you see it?
Oh God, I saw it 7 times.
7 times. Yeah. So I don't think you hated it, did you?
I didn't hate it. No.
So I think So
I was a big fan of it.
Bringing on that note, let's bring us nicely on to the best.
Let's go on to some good stuff.
Best stuff.
Did you want to start this time around? Or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we going in 5 to 1, or are you just going to rattle off a few?
Yeah, let's just go. We'll go down. I'm just going to kind of go through them. I'll kind of do my ones this time.
Cool,
I'll go first.
Cool. Yeah.
So first up, I say they're not in any particular order. I just kind of liked all these films equally.
Yeah.
So on my list there's a new film that came out on Netflix, which I highly recommend.
Okay.
It's called Leave the World Behind.
Okay. I can't say I'm familiar with it.
So it's the film, you might have seen it. It's got Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke and Mahershala Ali in it.
No, I've not seen it come on.
Okay. Well, it's this post-apocalyptic thriller film, and it's really good.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I was not really sure what to expect, but I love a good psychological thriller and sort of anything like apocalyptic as well.
Yeah.
Basically about this family that go away for like a few, they kind of just decide to just take a vacation for our friends across the pond who listen to this.
Yeah.
Whereas we would say holiday, you see.
Holiday, yes.
You see, yes.
Yeah.
So they have a little holiday, and they kind of stay in this really nice house, and some shit happens. Basically, that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, it's a really, really good film. I will say the ending is very lackluster, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you're really like, oh God, like what's going to happen? And then it gets to the end, it's like, oh, okay. So the ending, I wasn't super like sold on that, to be honest. Plus, also the daughter in it is like obsessed with Friends. Which is always a red flag for me.
I've never really seen it, but what I have seen of it hasn't quite.
Yeah.
I've not been a big fan of.
Sorry to any Friends fans out there, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I really like it.
I
highly recommend it.
It's on Netflix, you say?
It's on Netflix,
okay, I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, guys, definitely watch that one.
Cool.
Okay, so next up for me, as I said, not in any order, but I'm going to say The Flash.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm just going to ignore what you just said there. I love The Flash. This to me.
Someone had to.
Hey, look. Right, be nice. All right.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
It's shit. It's a shit.
Oi.
All right, go on.
You've had your time to speak. It's my time now. So you just sit there and listen. No, I enjoyed it. I say again, hokey CGI aside, and Ezra Miller should. Never be allowed to play the Flash again.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this film. It made me laugh. It made me cry. Every time I've seen this film, I've cried, like with the mum stuff.
Cried it. How about it?
It's not bad, right? Shut up.
All right.
And it to me, this just felt like a really it just kind of felt very whole as a movie. It just kind of had like a little bit of everything. You know, there's some really good action stuff in here, and I love the time travel element. You know, I love that they, you know, loosely adapted the Flashpoint. I think if you're going to do a Flash movie, I think Flashpoint is kind of the only way to go really with it. If you're going to,
I wouldn't make it the first film. I'll be honest. But then again, I guess it. I mean, it was the best thing for the shit show that was the DCU.
I think if they're going to adapt, I think the way they adapted it made sense. Where they tied it in, you know, they didn't just straight up do Flashpoint. And they kind of made it work within the parameters of the DCU.
I think so, yeah.
So they brought, you know, kind of. I like that we went back to Man of Steel.
Yes, yeah.
I thought that was cool, and it was like a, you know, a bit of a kind of a history, which is why again I feel that should have been the ending because because they referenced Man of Steel, which was the first entry.
Wrapped it up.
I think it's quite cool that the last, you know, if it was the last movie, then that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wrapped it up.
It was cool to see Michael Keaton come back. I say, obviously so we're both born in the like mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
I was born in 95. He was born in 98.
Yeah.
So the movies that we had growing up were like the Schumacher. Movies, which
just for the record, I want to say Batman Forever.
Batman Forever is
fucking fantastic.
It is amazing.
I love Batman
and
Forever.
I will defend that to the grave. That movie.
Yeah, I love that film.
And Batman and Robin. Okay, here's my take on that. If you watch it and think of it as a like a high budget, modernized version of the '66 Batman series, then it's fucking brilliant.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
And that's how I watch it. I don't watch it as a serious Batman movie.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone with even half a brain cell would do that. But if you watch it as like a fun, campy, like, you know, I say modernized, like version of
fun
that,
take on
then
Batman.
fucking
you've got it.
Excellent.
It does work. There again, like this conversation another day, but there is some good stuff in that film.
There's some really good stuff in it.
Same with the Batman Forever. So
but as I say, obviously, so that's what we grew up, and then obviously the Nolan trilogy when we were, you know, a bit older and stuff.
Older, yeah.
But yeah, the Keaton stuff. I mean, I remember watching Batman Returns, which I've always loved that. That's one of my favorite Batman movies. But yeah, I was kind of Michael Keaton was kind of the last Batman that I kind of got into.
Yeah, same here.
So to me, although he has the best Batmobile, I don't, you know, I don't like have this nostalgic attachment to him. But I really like him. I appreciate, obviously, you know, for a lot of people he is Batman.
Yeah, I
get
that.
Really cool.
Totally get it.
But I say I really liked him in the film.
It was nice to see him again. I'm glad that they brought him back. I think it was cool. I do think a maybe slight missed opportunity was to have maybe had him interact with Ben Affleck. I think that would have been cool. It would have just been interesting. Yeah. Just given the whole Spider-Man stuff recently, I think I can't really see them doing like a multiversal Batman thing anytime going forward. So I thought the one opportunity they could do it just to see what it's like. Is the way. To see what it's like. It was going to be cool.
I think that would have been quite a cool thing to do.
I think my biggest problem with the film, I would say, is I do like that they've got Michael Keaton, but I just think it would have made. I think a better way to have done it would to have kind of adapted the actual Flashpoint story correctly by having Thomas Wayne as the main Batman. And I would like to have seen
Jeffrey Dean Morgan
because he's very up for it.
I would. That is something I really wanted as well. To be fair, Batman, he would have been really cool. And I would have liked to have seen Lauren Cohen as the Joker as well.
Again, she's up for it as well.
Yeah, I just think there's something really, really unique you can do there, and really, you know.
Yeah,
frightening, you know.
What I'm now a bit concerned about is the idea of Flashpoint. I can't see them wanting to touch that for a while.
No, they won't.
Film, so I don't think we'll see that for at least a decade, maybe even more.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it's going to be a long time, but.
But yeah, I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I very much.
Somebody had to. Moving on.
Moving on. So yeah, next up for me is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Cracking choice.
Absolute belter of a movie, and for me this was like the kind of exclusion to the rule where the third film was used as the worst in the trilogy.
Yeah,
I actually think this is the best one.
100%. Yeah, I love the first one.
Yep.
The second one I think is very underrated. But the third one was just...
It's not what you said the first time you watched it.
No, let's move on
You
from
were very angry with that
Yeah, it's
film.
true. The first time I saw the second film, I wasn't feeling it. And then I literally went and saw it again the next night. And it was... I just think I need a bit of time to settle with it.
Yeah.
And I saw it the next night, and it was like the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I think I saw it about 9 times. 8, 9 times. I loved it. I really loved that second film. But the third one...
Third one, I mean, they focus on Rocket, which is, you know, he's the best...
That's a plus
He's the best character anyway. And...
the emotion in that film.
Oh my god,
that's probably the big seller for me.
Broke my heart, but yeah. But I think also like this movie, that kind of like roller coaster of emotions that you feel when you watch it, gives me nothing but hope for what James Gunn is going to do with the DCU.
Oh yeah, I think one thing that's very clear is Superman is in really safe hands.
Yeah, I really, I think
he does Hearts. James Gunn does Heart really well with his characters.
Definitely. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Volume 3, sorry.
Fantastic.
Fucking loved it.
Fantastic.
I got a really cool little popcorn tin as well from the Odeon. So
big up the Odeon.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think I know also why you didn't like The Flash. Another reason why as well.
Because it was shit.
I don't think there was enough dance and songs in it for you.
That's true.
I don't think there were enough.
Done with the dance number.
Yeah, I don't think there were enough musical numbers in it for you.
No, we even got it in the Marvels, which you've still not even seen. There is a dance number in the Marvels.
Yeah, I'd say
and it's actually good.
Yeah, sorry, just a quick go back to that one. The reason why the Marvels wasn't on my worst list is because I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, you missed out because it's actually really fucking good, and I'm sorry that you didn't see it.
I'm not.
Give it a go.
Moving on.
It's better than The Flash.
Moving on.
It is better than The Flash.
Next up for me is going to be Godzilla -1.
Okay, a film that I've also not seen.
You have to watch it, mate.
All I keep hearing is good stuff.
It's genuinely incredible. And as I say, I've just put out a review for that. So if you want to see more of my thoughts on that, then watch that. So I won't go into too much detail here. But yeah, I just bloody loved it, really.
Fantastic.
It's definitely my favourite Godzilla movie.
You'd say, yeah.
Shin Godzilla was my favourite before that, but this have you watched that, by the way?
No.
Okay, watch that. That's a really good one.
I'll give it well, yeah.
But yeah, Godzilla -1.
Recommend it.
100% recommend it.
It's not out anymore, is it? Or is it?
I don't think it's out anymore, but
okay.
But
maybe on streaming at some point.
Yeah, it'll be streaming and like Blu-ray and stuff. But
yeah.
I think there's going to be a black and white version in Japan. I think they're going to at the cinemas because obviously the original movie was black and white. So I think because they have some really cool. Actually, something I didn't mention in my review. They use the original theme.
Do they?
From the the original film,
really cool.
and they kind of because it's set kind of around the same sort of time.
Yeah.
That sort of post World War II sort of era.
Yeah.
And there's just some really great moments when he's kind of walking and stomping around, and they have that original theme, and it's generally really scary.
Is it?
Yeah,
oh, that's amazing.
And it's one of those things you have to kind of see it on the big screen, but it's like fuck yeah.
So it's in black and white in Japan, is it?
Well, there's a version, so it's in colour.
Yeah.
But they're doing a black and white version.
All right, and they're going to show it in Japan.
Yeah.
I can fly to Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Just nip over there, pop over there,
and watch it and come back. Yeah, I can do that.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've heard really good stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, I will give it a whirl.
I think any reservations you have about it, watch it.
You like it, cool.
And then finally for me, was a movie that we went to go and see together.
Okay.
It's about two brothers, which is quite apt.
Okay.
One of them he has to rescue the other one.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And it's a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
I had such a good time with this film.
Amazing film. Yeah. That's your film of the year, is it?
Well, it's on my not necessarily my film of the year, but just I like all these films the same.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic film.
Yeah. And as I say, it felt to me, kind of a basic story, but it's quite refreshing just to see just a simple story. You don't have to be a fucking physicist to figure out the plot and figure out what's going on. Basically, Luigi goes, he gets sucked in and into like the like this tunnel, and Mario has to go and save him. Basically, he ends up in Bowser's. Luigi ends up being kidnapped by Bowser. So Mario goes to the Mushroom Kingdom. Meets up with Toad and Peach. And then obviously Donkey Kong later on. They team up. And they just go on this quest to save him. That's the plot of the film, And Bowser's trying to marry Peach. She's not into it. But everything about this was great. Jack Black as Bowser. I mean,
Jack Black is Jack Black.
Jack Black is Jack Black. And
don't need to say any more. Fucking love
trying to say
Black.
that 3 times really fast.
I'm not going to attempt it.
No. But no, I'm good, thanks. But yeah, that was and I loved it. I had a great time with it. It was funny. It's just a really fun, and it's like the animation style is beautiful as well.
It's wonderful. Yeah,
it's a really lovely film to watch because it's so colourful and vibrant.
Colourful, yeah. Everything pops really lovely, and you've got it on. Is it Blu-ray or 4K?
Just Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it looks insane on that.
Yeah, it looks
great.
I
need to rewatch it.
Yeah. It's a really fun film, and
it was what was lovely about it was I'm not overly familiar with the Mario lore as such. I've played some of the games when I was younger, but tapped out a little bit as I got older. But I it was really refreshing to just see a film and to, as you said, you don't have to be like a scientist to know everything about it, about this lore. You can just go to the cinema and see a film, which in this modern day, you can't really do that with superhero films. You have to have seen every 50, you have to see like all the 50 films and 25 shows beforehand.
Definitely, yeah.
It was nice to just go to the cinema and just see a film.
100%. Yeah, it was
be super fresh. It was wonderful. And as you say, the animation in particular, amazing.
Yeah, it was all really good.
Nice.
Yeah,
really lovely, yeah.
And it just it reminded me of films that we would have gone to see when we were young. Because we grew up in that kind of golden age of, Pixar and DreamWorks movies like Shrek and Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Madagascar, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think if this movie came out 20 years ago,
be all over it.
When we were kids, this 100% would have been.
We probably, if it came out when we were younger, we probably would have changed our names to Mario and Luigi. Probably what we would have done. Do you think?
I don't know if we would have done that.
Wouldn't have gone that far.
Put it this way. Because I've played Mario games for years. But this movie, after watching this, it inspired me to go out and buy a Switch. So I literally bought a Switch a few days later.
Yeah.
And then I smashed through Super Mario Odyssey.
You've loved it, haven't you?
Yeah, and Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury, obviously Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Super Mario Wonder I'm playing at the minute.
Yeah.
There is another one.
Don't know what it's called. Do you know what it's called? Any idea? He's looking, ladies and gentlemen. He's looking. And he can't see it.
I can't remember. Sorry, guys. I thought I had a fifth Mario game, but I guess I don't.
You don't.
But, it's, basically, it's kind of got me super back into that world. Yeah. And the fact is they set up Yoshi.
Yeah, nice.
Or Yoshi, however you say it. Yeah. For the sequel, which he's my favourite character. So
there you go.
Bring that on is what I say.
Amazing.
Okay, so yes.
Yes. Well, I'm going to start number 5, and we're going to work our way down to number 1. Number 5 was again another film that you could just go and see. Didn't have to have seen another. Wasn't a part of a franchise. Number 5 was Oppenheimer.
Yes.
I thought Oppenheimer was fucking fantastic.
Cool.
Christopher Nolan, so you already know what you're getting with that one. I just thought it was amazing.
Yep.
It did. The ending left me in a certain state. The last couple of minutes just left me in a certain state of
It's a bit of a
fear and
definitely.
Concern of
it's
the world we live in.
100%. It's literally if the I said the right person or maybe the wrong person.
Yeah, all it takes is the wrong person.
And then we're we're all fucked basically.
Yeah.
So that's quite worrying.
Yeah, I think basically the day I saw that, I took. Obviously, Barbenheimer was a big thing last year. I had to go and see Barbie that afternoon just to try and fluff things up a little bit because I saw Oppenheimer in the morning and then I went to a 6 p.m. showing of Barbie just to fluff things up a little bit. And it was good for that reason.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why they work because they were so different.
So different, yeah.
Barbenheimer, I think,
Yeah, both those films are very different, so that's...
But I haven't actually seen Barbie. I didn't do the Barbenheimer thing last year.
I will just say it's not on my list. But that was an underrated gem of the year, I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I say underrated. Everybody loved Barbie. It was genuinely a good film.
It was, totally is.
I recommend giving it a whirl.
Yeah, I will check it out.
It was funny. But yeah, Oppenheimer was just fantastic. Cillian Murphy was sensational.
Yeah, he was great. Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. was Robert Downey Jr. Just like a stellar cast. Like Rami Malek, Emily Blunt was in it. Alden Ehrenreich was in it.
Fucking everyone.
Josh Peck was in it.
Josh Peck was in it. Josh Peck was in this movie.
That was cool.
Fucking I could not believe it.
Yeah.
I was seeing fuck just Josh Peck.
At one point, I thought he was going to blame Megan for something.
I was just hoping he was going to at one point go Megan.
Yeah. Megan. Yeah, that would have been funny.
That would have been cool.
There's so many people in this film.
But it's it was really not. Yeah, it was
a fantastic film.
Yeah, it is a really good film. I say it's not on my list of top favourites, but I've got we're going to do a kind of a honourable mentions.
Yes, yeah.
And
But yeah, overall, fantastic film.
Cool.
My number 4. Now, this will be interesting. I've gone for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I thought you probably would.
Just because I thought it was fantastic. And as we've already stated, I saw it 7 times.
Yeah.
That's probably a good indication of what I thought of it. I just loved it. Indiana Jones is in terms of original movie characters, excluding Darth Vader, Indiana Jones is my favourite. Jack Sparrow's up there as well, but Indiana Jones is my favourite character in film history. I just love him. I think he's great, and I really love those original films and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It was really lovely to just get to see a new Indiana Jones film at the cinema with John Williams composing the score.
Yeah,
because John Williams is fucking he's wonderful.
Yeah, he's
John Williams, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the best.
So to get a new Indiana Jones film alone is amazing, but to also get it with John Williams and Harrison Ford, and to even have Steven Spielberg working on it. It was directed by James Mangold, but to have that whole team together, I think it worked. When I came out of it, I thought to myself, it wasn't quite what I was expecting, but I still had a good time with it.
Yeah,
and I really, really like it.
That's good. That's all you can really hope for in a movie.
One thing I will just say, Disney, if you're listening, an animated Indiana Jones TV series, where the fuck is it? Because I think that'd be incredible. Like a show about him, like when he's younger. I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And imagine there's some mock-ups online. People have done of like the original like Disney 2D drawing type images.
Yeah.
There's like someone's done Indiana Jones animation of that.
So that would be cool.
It's incredible.
Okay.
It looks amazing. Bring in Short Round.
Yeah, especially if it's going to be set in like the 20s and 30s or whatever as well.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, you could kind of bring back that old school Disney. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd love that. I would love that.
I'd be down for that. Number 3?
Number 3, I very similar to you, gone for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yep.
Just a fantastic film. My actual favourite performance of the year in terms of just enjoyment was actually the High Evolutionary. I thought he was
I don't think I've ever wanted to see a villain die as much as the High Evolutionary in this film. I was literally prepared to climb into the screen and just kill him myself.
There's a few moments in particular he has with Rocket. I won't say them because I don't know what to think about them, but they are... I've never hated a villain more.
Yeah.
Which I just think he's fucking fantastic in that film. And I honestly would say he's like a top 3 MCU villain for me.
To be honest...
He's up there with Thanos. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, to be honest, watching that film, he, to me, was a far greater villain than they made Kang out to be.
Oh, 100%. And I actually, do you know what? I wouldn't even mind if he was just big bad of the MCU going forward.
Because I already hate him.
Fucking hate him.
Wonderful
actor.
I just think,
can't think of his name.
Yeah, I just think they just kind of dropping the ball with Kang, to be honest. But it seems they're going to possibly just completely just move on from.
Or maybe recast him. I can't remember the guy's name, but there's a guy that's floating about at the minute that might be playing him.
Yeah, I think because they've already kind of set up that every version is Jonathan
Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
I just think I don't know. I think they should just move on. I think they've done a little bit of Kang in the Loki series and Ant-Man, Quantumania. I think just
maybe focus on that.
Just give us Doctor Doom. That's what we all really want.
I do, but I don't want them to rush him. Same with Galactus. Don't just bring him in.
Yeah, don't just put him in there. But yeah,
go back to Guardians. I really loved it. I really, really loved it.
Cool.
I saw it like 6 times. So great film.
Nice. Number 2.
Number 2. Now 1 and 2, I was confident that my second choice was actually going to be my first choice until December. That's a little clue what number 1 is.
Okay.
Number 2 is Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I thought was just a fantastic film. If you've seen the first one, you know how good these films are. I love the first film. But the second film I fucking love it. And the first 10 minutes, I was just instantly, I know I'm going to enjoy this film. When you see a Da Vinci version of the Vulture, I thought the way that they're mixing these universes.
Yeah.
And I love the art style of him. He looks like he just made a parchment. I love that.
Yeah,
and the way he
really
speaks, he's quite. I think he's quite theatrical. I think
has he got I think he's an Italian.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
accent and stuff.
The way he speaks, it's just he'd be ripped from that universe.
Renaissance kind of.
You've got Spider-Man 2099, you've got Spider-Woman, you've got Spider-Gwen. All these different people just fighting each other. And it's visually, it's incredible. And the soundtrack as well. I have to say, the soundtrack for that film.
Yeah, it's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I absolutely love that film.
I love it.
The only reason why it wasn't on my list is just purely because basically, I like the other film. I like the other films on my list more.
Mm-hmm.
I also preferred Into the Spider-Verse.
Did
as
you?
a film overall. I mean, I think I need to rewatch Across the Spider-Verse, but I really enjoyed it. I think for me, I love all the Miles stuff.
Yep.
With him and his family, but to be honest, I don't know because I'm just kind of getting a bit bored of the whole Spider-Verse thing now. I just feel like everyone's doing that now. Everything's a multiverse, and
I think the multiverse in general needs to be rested for a bit.
I'm just everyone's doing it. Everyone's fucking doing it now. But as I say, I kind of found actually the Spider-Verse stuff, when there's it's fuck, I mean, how many times have they done that fucking meme thing as well?
The pointing thing.
They just they did it in the first film, and it's just okay. That's it's not really funny anymore. We get it. They're all Spider-Man. It's hilarious. And I don't know. I just kind of felt like that part of the movie was for me where I kind of zoned out a little bit.
Okay, that's fair. Fair. I think it does get to a point in the second act when there's just so many different Spider people in it. It is almost quite hard to track who you're looking at.
Yeah, and I just think it just gets a bit, I don't know, busy. I just think there's a lot going on in
There is a lot going on.
But
I do think
I like the cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger is fantastic. Spider-Punk is excellent.
Yeah.
I think he's really good.
Yeah,
I'm
really
very
cool.
excited for the new film, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Was supposed to be coming out this year, I think, but it's been delayed.
Yeah.
But something else also, I'm a huge fan of Lego Spider-Man in the film.
Yeah,
I love
there was so many great.
I love that he's like their best. He's like their best version.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is this little Lego Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
Entrust him to do all the.
I love that.
High missions.
So lovely film.
And then
number one is I've gone for Wonka.
Okay.
I have gone for Wonka.
Yeah.
I just love it. I've seen it 4 times so far. I will be seeing it again. I think it's a really. So one of my favourite films of all time is The Greatest Showman. Watched it again actually last night for the first time in a while. Fucking fantastic film. I really love those kind of like stories about people with like a dream. That like those kind of films. They're not really negative. They're just really upbeat, lovely tales, lovely stories. And I don't think there's many films like that.
Right. Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier, I'm also a sucker for a good soundtrack. And I actually downloaded. This is quite funny. You hated the soundtrack. I downloaded the soundtrack when I was still in the cinema. I literally, as I came out the screen, I went straight onto Spotify and downloaded it. As I was walking through the doors outside of the cinema, I was just like, "This is so fucking good." I listened to it on the way home. It was a good walk home.
See, yeah, I mean,
I love it, and I've been very obsessed with it since. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's cool.
And also, I love chocolate as well.
Well, yeah, so, who doesn't?
Chocolate's great. So.
I mean, I think I thought it was fine. Like I'm not. I don't think it was like terrible or anything. I just yeah, it was just kind of fine for me.
It's a fine film.
I think I was always kind of like in the camp of like I don't really think Willy Wonka needs an origin.
I get that.
I like that he's this mysterious kind of character that you get little tidbits here and there in like the original film and the Tim Burton one and stuff. Well, the Tim Burton one kind of goes into his origin a bit, but
it does, yeah.
But and because again, like I didn't think many of the songs were that memorable.
Okay.
I'm not like a big musical fan anyway, to be honest, but.
Fair.
The song when he opens up the shop I did quite like. When he first
I know? A World of Your Own, mate. Great song.
That one. That was cool. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got and I appreciated the fact that in this movie there's a lot of kind of actors and things and from various British comedies.
Yeah, you've got Rowan Atkinson, who's Jem, Matt Lucas, other people.
Yeah, well, to say I'm a big fan of Peep Show, so
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, you got to watch Peep Show, mate. Yeah. That's brilliant. But yeah, I mean, Slugworth.
Yeah.
In the film is played by Johnson, who's like he plays Johnson. I don't actually know his name, but in his actual name, but in Peep Show he plays.
I've seen that.
Alan Johnson. He was
cool.
like the sort of the boss.
I do think he's really good in Wonka. I think he's
he was cool. I liked him. He's great in everything. Like
I think
I've seen him in.
Really liked him.
Matt Lucas he just does his Matt Lucas thing.
He does, yeah.
Like I just say, I think he's just only good in things that he writes himself.
Yeah.
He just sort of does his woo like thing.
Really posh.
And just sort of looks all sort of confused and befuddled and stuff.
All the time, yeah.
But yeah, it was fine. Timothée
yeah.
Chalamet was really good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I did.
It
made me cry as well. It made me cry quite a few times towards the end. It's the whole thing with his mum gets to me.
Yeah, as I say, anything like that, I'm a sucker for that.
But overall, I think that was kind of the film. It's weird as well because like I knew I was going to enjoy it, but I was actually surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. So I think it's
nice,
top film. Really
then just really quick, I thought we could just go through some honourable mentions.
Mentions, yeah, because there's obviously a few little gems that we've not quite touched on. Obviously, there's a lot of great things that came out last year. So, what kind of stuff?
So a couple of mine. So I'm going to say Across the Spider-Verse is a definite. I say just narrowly missed off my top 5 spot.
Yeah,
I'm a lifelong Spider-Man fan as well. So the fact that it didn't quite make the cut is kind of heartbreaking for me. But I just personally, it was.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a solid like. I don't know, so probably I'd say 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. But beyond that.
But yeah, as I say, I preferred the original, the first movie.
That's fair.
And I just felt it kind of got a little bit, sort of lost in the middle for me.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I would probably say Aquaman's probably up there.
Yeah, Aquaman was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Like it was. I do prefer the first film, I'll be honest, but It's my favourite DC film of the year, which isn't really saying very much. but I thought it was fun. I
Yeah,
thought
you
it was
actually
good.
saw it twice.
I saw it twice, which
You
is
saw
more
it
than I did.
twice.
Which is more than I did for any other
Which
DC
is-
film this
yeah.
year or last year even. Yeah, I just thought it was fun. I thought there was some good stuff in it. I thought visually CGI is not great, but then there are some good bits where it's like, you know, making a film underwater. Well, they don't make it underwater, but you know, like it, make it look like it's been done underwater. I think that's not I doubt that's going to be an easy thing to do. They pull it off well in some shots.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I've got a review of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom coming up next on my channel. So
Awesome.
I'll go more into
Have
my
a full
thoughts on
delve
that.
into it then.
But yeah, that was a really fun film.
Honestly, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and again, just quickly, the suits.
Oh my god!
Black Manta and Aquaman suits.
Yeah, they look incredible. They have no
top tier.
right looking as good as they do.
They
in live
don't.
Action.
Yeah, and they somehow make it work.
Yeah. Another one for me was Oppenheimer. So I again narrowly missed out on my top 5, but yeah, I really enjoyed Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I like a good historical epic.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was but that was kind of more of a modern, historical thing. Obviously, something that's happened within the last 100 years.
Yeah,
so that's
quite interesting.
And obviously, it still feels very relevant because it is something that it's the subject matter is very much
present.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. In our sort of current day-to-day lives.
Society. So, no, very true. Another historical film, which was a complete gem, was Napoleon. Had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Given that it's, as I say, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's quite a dark film, but it's. I don't know very much about Napoleon, and apparently the film isn't very historically accurate. I don't know too much about Napoleon, so I don't know which elements were real and which weren't. But as a film, I thought it was really, really good. I do love a historical drama, so that was just a fun film. Just a really, in terms of the way they do the story, visually it's really good. It's got a sort of dusky kind of musky look to it. It just looks very cool. Everything looks very dirty and.
That's Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. So
you know what you're getting.
You know what you're getting there. He's great in the film.
100%.
He's brilliant.
Top rated quality.
He's brilliant. The only thing I would say is he's supposed to be French. He does an American accent, which usually I can look past, but it is quite jarring a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because it's like the rest of everybody else is French. It's a bit random that he's American. But beyond that, it is good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely. If you haven't seen it,
Harry recommends Napoleon.
Harry recommends Napoleon, ladies and gentlemen.
And then, that's great. So well, first of all, I'd say I think that pretty much
wraps up the year as it was. I think overall it was a good year. I think there was some great stuff in there.
Definitely.
I did also just want to big up the Marvels. I know you've not seen it. You probably won't ever watch it, but it's
that's
good.
Cool.
It was good.
Someone's got to, Harry.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Nobody fucking saw that film apart from
some people did. Some people did.
But
it was good. It was fun. I think it worked well. I mean, spoilers. You see an MCU beast, which is just cool.
Yeah.
That
I did see.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you up for it?
Yeah.
That was cool to see him. He looks exactly how he does in the animated series from the 90s, so that was a joy.
Always good.
But yeah, I thought it was a good film. I thought Iman Vellani was just awesome. Brie Larson was good in it. It was good. Really enjoyed it.
Why are you laughing when you say that, Harry?
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
No, she was good. She was very good in it. I liked it. I'm very, very excited for the future of those characters.
Now, I've got to say, actually, in all fairness, I've rewatched Endgame and I actually really enjoyed Captain Marvel in that. She's
fucking awesome in Endgame.
I actually kind of wish she had a bigger role in that, to be fair.
Yeah. When she comes back or when she saves...
Yeah, when she
destroys Thanos' ship. Fucking awesome.
Because she comes in and obviously, destroys the ship. And I mean, that's epic as fuck. But even when she's fighting Thanos, when he's about to click, I'm just like... Because obviously...
He punches her in the head.
Yeah, and she just doesn't even flinch.
Doesn't flinch.
But obviously he takes out Thor and Captain America, and it's like, oh god, and then it's like, thank God for her.
Yeah,
thank God for you, Carol.
Yeah,
thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. Yeah, I am very excited to see where they take her. I think you very much get the Endgame version of her. I think in Marvels.
I do think that they're trying to definitely make her more. I have heard that she's definitely more likable in this film.
She is, yeah,
because she was not likable at all in the first film, and
I've gone back on it. I do like that first film.
It's one of those films that's like, again, I hate it. It's fine. Again, it's just it's like a solid sort of mid-tier MCU film. It's not one I would rush to rewatch again. But if it's on, I'll watch it. And, and then to be fair, I've rewatched it once, maybe twice, since it came out. And each time I've seen it, I think I've rewatched it twice, and both times I've actually enjoyed it more. So
really, okay,
yeah. So I think
It is a good film. I think it is good. There's some good bits in there.
Yeah.
And it's got Goose in it. Everybody loves Goose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. I do know that the Marvels has a lot of cats.
It does.
So
and not just cats, but kittens.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of them.
Okay. Well, you had me at cats, but now kittens.
I say kittens.
Okay.
You're gonna watch it.
So that can kind of concludes our wrap up of 2023. As I say, some great films, some not so great films.
It's been a mixed year, but I think overall there was some. I think there was more positive than negative.
Definitely, yeah.
I think.
So I want to thank you guys so much for listening. Harry, where can people find you if they want to follow you and subscribe to you?
On YouTube, under the Gallifreyan Knight is the name that I go by. So there's a cool little bits and bobs coming up on there.
Nice. And you also have a.
Are we plugging it?
Yeah, do it.
Let's plug it. So I'm making a little Doctor Who documentary called Project Who Next. It was originally just going to be called Who Next, but then I thought Project Who Next kind of works, so I'm sticking with that. That's what that's called. It's going to be coming out sometime, probably next year, realistically. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. It's basically, I'm a big Doctor Who fan, and it's basically me going around England trying to meet as many people from the show as possible to celebrate the 60th anniversary. I've met some cool people. There is a trailer, if you want to give it a whirl.
A very amazing trailer. Definitely check it out.
I'll flatter me.
It is good, honestly, mate. I'm.
You sound surprised.
No, honestly,
Cool.
like I said, I've got no involvement in this at all. It's totally Harry on his own doing this.
Sure.
And I am just generally pumped to see this. But
Cool.
I'll put a link to Harry's channel and the trailer and stuff.
There is also a YouTube channel under the name Project Who Next.
Okay.
So I've got my Gallifreyan Knight, which is like slightly separate. I do Doctor Who stuff on there, but I sort of do other stuff.
That's
and then I've got my primary Doctor Who
I'll
account.
link it all down below. So definitely give it a look because he's doing some really cool stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you guys again for your time.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Or if you're listening to this in the evening, have a great evening.
Have a great evening.
I hope you sleep well.
Hope you sleep well. Sweet dreams.
Yeah. Or if you're listening to this in the morning, have a wonderful morning.
Have a wonderful morning.
Afternoon. And
if you're listening to the afternoon,
then have a
lovely
great afternoon, and I hope you have a great tea tonight. Whatever you're going for.
Yeah, whatever you're planning, whatever you're thinking, whatever's in the freezer, in the fridge.
If you fancy that jacket potato, cheese and beans, treat yourself.
Do it.
Go
exactly.
for it.
Yeah,
Go
that's
for
what
it.
it's there for.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah,
treat yourself.
Because you got tuna mayo.
Tuna mayo.
It's not going to stay, keep forever. So you've got to get stuck into that.
Got some sweet corn. Whack that in as well.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Treat yourself.
But until the next video, did you just want to quickly say what the next video might be covering, or do you want to?
No. I'll leave that totally up to.
That'll be a surprise.
That'll be a surprise. So leave it up to fate to decide.
Yeah.
But thanks again.
Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe to myself if you like this kind of thing. Give the video a like because that always helps. I think.
Yeah. I think it does. Probably.
YouTube's kind of a bit of a
bit of an abyss.
Bit of an abyss. Yeah. So
bit of a beast.
So if you enjoy this kind of content, as I say. We'll definitely do more these little podcasts.
We've got a few more ideas.
Yeah, we've got some cool things coming up. So thanks again for your time.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. About 4 hours.